Hey everybody, I'm Izzy Swan. Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to build this. It's like art, sort of. But we're going to do it only on the table saw with the table saw sled. So about 6 months ago, I guess I kind of teased this type of table saw sled at the end of a video. And this is a table saw sled for making coves. So really simple to build. In this case, I'm just using a 3/4 inch piece of plywood that is 32 inches wide and 48 inches long. And I cut 4 strips off of that, 2 at 1.5 and 2 at 2.5 inches. I'm going to take what's left of that 3/4 inch piece and position it on my table saw at whatever angle. In this case, I'm just guessing. I'm not setting up anything very specific. Now, I'm drilling a hole through the wing of my table saw and inserting a 1/4 inch bolt. I know that a lot of you wouldn't want to do that to your saws, so what you'd have to do if you were interested in doing this would be to secure it maybe to your outfeed table or some kind of clamping system that doesn't interfere with the top of the material, because that's going to actually guide the sled that we build. So on those 2 offcuts, I just cut them about half, and I put 2 pieces of the 3/4 inch that was 1.5 inches on each side of the plywood on the table saw, and then I just secured it with some screws, making sure that it was nice and snug. Now I am using a 1/2 inch plywood on the top of that, and again I had a piece of 32 inch by 48, and I just cut it in half, so it's 32 by 24. Now after securing the slides on, just made sure it was sliding back and forth on that plywood really well, and then use some 2P10 and activator to glue down what would be the front rail and the back rail, so when we cut through the 1/2 inch plywood it doesn't come flying apart. Now once the glue had dried, I raised the table saw blade up through the 3/4 plywood, about 1/16 of an inch. Now I'm going to take really light passes here because we are attacking that table saw blade at an angle, about a 32nd to a 1/16 of an inch at a time. So each pass, just take a little bit more off, and I want to cut all the way through the plywood so the saw blade protrudes through, which will cut coves into the material that we choose to cut it in. This is one of those things that I find really fascinating, is actually just watching the blade remove material at an angle. So it's kind of just a cool look. Okay, so what I want to do here is create kind of a weave pattern, and I'm going to start by cutting this side. I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to go down and do each pass, and then I want to come over and flip it over and do like a offset pass. And then I'm going to kind of cattywampus this and run those passes this direction on both sides. Now this is going to take a while. Each one of these passes takes 10, 12 passes. I'm only taking off a 32nd to a 1/16 at an inch, and it's a pretty dull blade, so I'm not getting really good cuts. But in this case, we're just experimenting, so let's see what happens. Now I laid out my marks every 2 inches and 7/8. And then I put 1 mark right in the center of where the saw blade passes on the table saw and just lined everything up with that. And then again, taking very light multiple passes, I'm able to bring that blade up into the material and create the coves. Now in this case, I'm going to run the patterns on both sides in both directions, so it's going to take a little while, and instead of making you watch the whole thing, I just sped it up. Now I do want to mention while we were watching this that, using table saws in this way, it's not what they were intended for, and there are some pressures and things that can happen, especially when you're like dragging the material back across the top of the blade. You want to make sure it's very, very secure, because there are things like that can cause kickback. Now I want to dispel some misnomers. I've had people comment in the past how bad this is for your arbor, and table saw blades aren't meant to be used that way. And you're right, they're not meant to be used that way. But if you're taking very, very light passes, a 32nd of an inch at a time, there really is no trouble. And I've never had in 35 years any issues making coves or any of the craziness that I do on my table saw. Just have to know what you're doing, take things slow, watch your feed rates, and be careful. So this took a long time. I probably spent the better part of an hour, hour and 15 minutes at the table saw just cutting the coves in this. Now once I had the coves cut on both sides, I turned it over and repeated the process perpendicular to the coves that I'd already cut. What was really cool is that because of the shape of the cove, when the blade protruded through, creating this trivet of sorts, it made these perfectly round holes, which was very unique and it was fun to look at. Now, with the first set done, it started to kind of look like an egg carton. Still very cool and interesting. And doing this is the first time I've ever attempted anything like this with a cove sled on the table saw. It's kind of fun and unique, the different things that you can do with coves. And this one's one of those things that was just, I thought was really cool. It kind of looked like a Connect 4 to me, and I found that quite amusing. Now, whenever I do anything like this, I always come up with ideas. Like, what could I use this for? Where could I put this in a furniture build? Some kind of lighting project, that kind of thing. And I thought about possibly using this as a lamp and just backlighting it, but I changed my mind. Now, it took a lot of sanding just to kind of clean it up a little bit, and I did not take out all the saw blade marks. But it ended up looking pretty darn cool, so I decided I was going to mount it on a plaque and just set it in the office, kind of a way to remind myself that, when you're always thinking a straight line, you won't end up with a trivet-looking artsy thing that you can stick your finger in. And a little bit of finish made this thing really pop. Turned out pretty cool. This was a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoyed this process with the cove sled. Again, if you're going to do it, just be careful. So there you have it. Pretty cool technique using a cove table saw sled. Cove cutting table saw sled, something like that. It was fun. It was a fun experiment, and it turned out pretty cool. I don't know how functional it is. I'm just going to set it in my office and call it art. Hey everyone, don't forget, if you're not following me on Instagram, get over there, follow me. I post pictures daily, what's happening in the shop as it's happening in the shop. And for those of you who listen to podcasts, I'm on a podcast. You should check it out. It's called Maybe I Said Too Much. I will warn you, it's not for the faint of heart. But we do have a lot of fun over there. I'll put links down in the description box below. And check out these other videos. I got like 370 of them. And most of them are pretty cool. Talk to you later.